At least 5 trucks have been set alight on the N4 in Mpumalanga. This just a day after 6 other trucks were destroyed on the N3, forcing closure of the highway for most of the day yesterday. And we bring in now Moeti Mmusi from the Provincial Community Safety, Security and Liaison Department. Moeti, thanks so much for your time. Just the latest update, particularly on the road closure and the number of trucks that have been torched in Mpumalanga. Good morning.
A very good morning to you and the viewers at home. Yes, it's true. The N4 Waterval-Boven alternative has been closed as a result of the trucks that were torched early this morning around midnight or so. There was initially an accident there. So as our traffic officers were responding to this scene, some criminal elements took advantage of that and set these trucks alight. This will be purely treated as a criminal matter that it is. It therefore means the police are investigating, and then the motorists have been advised to use the Schoeman Kloof alternative, those who are traveling between Machado Dorp and Mbombela.
So you're saying that this is not related necessarily to the N3 incident in KwaZulu-Natal, where there had been similar incidents of trucks being attacked. So you're saying that this is not necessarily related, or it could have an element to it, Moeti?
Yes, we are unable to determine that at this stage. Hence, we are saying the police have already commenced with the investigation into the matter. We want to treat it purely as a criminal matter that we believe it is.
But if it's an opportunistic crime, in lieu of the fact that we know that there had been a concerted effort to attack foreign nationals who are employed in the trucking space, why would criminals then just randomly attack like 4 trucks on the N4, N3 in Mpumalanga? Moeti?
While we are condemning this incident in the strongest possible terms, but that is exactly what we are trying to establish by carrying out the investigation into the matter.
And just in your view, how many other incidents have gone, maybe even unreported, that you may suspect have to deal with some syndicate that is deliberately targeting truck drivers?
Well, we have noticed previously when there are some service delivery protests, for instance, in areas like Bushbuck Ridge on the R40, as well as the N2 between Mkhondo and Emelo. Some communities, when they protest, they either torch these trucks or they either remove keys from these trucks and use the trucks to blockade the road. So the trucks have been very much used for protest purposes. This is something that we should always frown upon and try to discourage our communities from doing, because it has got huge economic impact not only on the province but the country as a whole, and it also impacts on the people's ability to move as freely as they want to. So but then again, like we are saying, we investigate each and every case on its merit. We don't want to club them together and say this could be related to people or some South Africans not wanting foreign drivers to be hired as drivers of trucks in this country.
Just with the President's reaction to it, calling for immediate apprehension of the suspects and also for intensive investigation, we also heard Minister of Transport Sindisiwe Chikunga echoing the same sentiment, that this brings a bad blemish, or it gives a bad reputation for the country when it comes to investors. Does this give you a sense that this particular action or the incidents that we've seen has been escalated to the point that it could potentially damage South Africa's image internationally?
Yes, absolutely. We believe it needs to be arrested in its part. It must be dealt with decisively. Those who are responsible must be urgently brought to book, because we need to send out a strong message that we are not a lawless country. We can therefore not allow such incidences. Because it may impact not only on the business aspect of it, but it could also create the impression that there is some degree of lawlessness in our country, which we believe is not necessarily the case.
Thank you so much, Mmusi, for joining us this morning. That is Mpumalanga Community Safety, Security and Liaison Departmental Spokesperson Moeti Mmusi reacting to the incident on the N4 in Mpumalanga of 5 other trucks that were torched. They're saying that they're investigating at this stage. They cannot necessarily make the link that this is part of a syndicate that is targeting South African truck drivers.